took an easier fight. You know, to be real, at 154, I'm the biggest name at 154, and everybody know that. I'm the biggest name at 154, and everybody know they're gonna make the most money fighting me, straight like that.
So he can punch. He's a knockout artist. He can box. He's not given enough credit for it. Okay. He closes, he finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer.
It's hard to really go against Boots because on that one was specifically Xander. You know, I feel Xander's still young, you know? Boots is a lot older and has a lot more experience.
Jaron Boots Ennis finally reacts to Xander Zayas' threats by declaring himself the new king of the 154 pounds division. Jaron Ennis confidently claimed that he owns the division and is ready to conquer the fight.
Trying to tell you, 154, man, it's mine. 154 is mine, and they're gonna see, you know, and they're gonna see, you know, just stay tuned. And like I said, when I handle business October 11th, we're gonna see.
Replying to Ennis, Xander Zayas said that true greatness is only achieved by overcoming the division's best fighters.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for being here. Man, this everybody, like you said, is busting. I feel like this is the biggest fight of 2026 thus far. And it was important for me because for me to say that I'm the best, I gotta face the best. And Jaron Boots Ennis is one of the best names in the division, you know, alongside other fighters and myself. So come June 27th, I will claim why I'm the best 154-pounder.
Clapping back, Ennis believed he would remain the division's dominant force regardless of the opponent.
Don't get me wrong, I don't take nothing from him. He's a good fighter, you know. I appreciate him, appreciate him for giving me an opportunity, you know. But I don't really see much. He's a great fighter. Good, he got good fundamentals, good jab. He's smart at times, you know. But like I said, no, I'm taking over. This is my division. It don't matter what he do. It don't matter what he bring to the table. I'm gonna show the world why I'm the best in the world, and we're gonna start in June.
Adding fuel to the fire, Xander issued a chilling warning to Jaron Ennis, transforming the potential clash into a high-stakes grudge match.
Fair. I feel like that's the way he should think. You know, if he didn't think that way, then he wouldn't be a fighter. I feel like it's the same way. I'm gonna rip his heart out. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him to somewhere he's never been. You know, he's gonna feel uncomfortable. He's gonna be uncomfortable when it comes to fight night. It's easy to face guys that you're bigger than them, you're more athletic than them. But when you're facing a guy that is as big as you, that is as athletic as you, that is as composed, as smart as you, it's a whole different story. And come June 27th, he will see why this 23-year-old is a unified world champion.
Following the threat, commentator Mike Spinger seemed impressed by Xander's guts and praised him for his courage.
Zayas, young guy, he wanted this fight. He called for the fight, and he made it happen quick after the Virgil Ortiz-Boots fight fell apart. So fair play to Xander. He has a lot of confidence in himself, even though he's going to be the underdog. And you're right, Boots hasn't proven anything yet. Not his fault, but he hasn't fought anyone. He looks special. Now we're going to find out.
However, Terence Crawford raised questions regarding the fairness of the matchup, suggesting the time may not be right.
Man, that's a tough fight, you know, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, you know, that he has in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country, and he's going to do real well in that fight. You know, I just think, you know, right now, you know, it's a little bit too early for him.
Sharing his view, Roy Jones Jr. praised Xander Zayas' talent, but said he's not yet at Jaron Ennis level. He stressed that Zayas still needs to grow, study the craft, and add more to his overall game. According to Jones, that extra depth is what separates good fighters from elite ones.
Good, I enjoy it. I love it. As a matter of fact, we had Xander on there. That's where I know Xander from. Well, actually, no, I know Xander from. I had a guy to fight Xander not long ago, and I found out how good Xander really is. So Xander is a good fighter, but I don't know if he's on Boots level yet.
What's the best advice you could give him if
he's
heading into it?
Just keep trying to advance, keep learning your craft, keep studying your craft, keep working on your repertoire, because having a deep repertoire is what's going to take to beat a guy like Boots, because Boots has a great repertoire.
Analyzing the decision, Max Kellerman gave credit to Xander Zayas for taking a risky path, noting that fighters in his position often choose safer options. Instead, he chose to face Jaron Ennis, seen as the toughest test available.
Gotta give him props is when you have a built-in fan base. In other words, it's not just that you're of a certain ethnic or national group, but you're undefeated. You've been groomed and promoted as maybe the future star that group's fan base will follow. You're risking a lot because you have a built-in economic engine behind you. And when you're a guy who can be put in a position to pick and choose, and you choose Boots, Gabe, what does that say?
Absolutely. This is a fight he definitely didn't have to take, man. You know, he's a 2-division champion right now.
Looking at the matchup from another angle, Showbiz the Adult said Xander Zayas could present a serious test for Jaron Ennis, even though he still sees Boots as the likely winner.
Mix it up. I don't care what anyone says. Xander Zayas is Boots' toughest opponent to date. As far as announced, we're not sure what's going to happen in the fight. Do I have Boots as of right now? Yeah. But I think Xander Zayas is going to give Boots trouble. I do. I think it's a good fight. If Xander Zayas were to win, that would be like, holy shit. I'm not sure what that would mean. Maybe I overrated Boots too much. You know, Boots, I have Boots in my top 5 pound for pound, actual best fighters in the world. Xander Zayas, if he were to beat him, I don't know if that's me overrating Boots or if we're not looking at Xander Zayas right. Either way.
Offering a different angle, LaShawn McCoy pointed out that while Jaron Ennis looks special, there are moments where he gets caught more than expected.
And also I'm thinking about is if you really watch Boots, Boots does look special all the time. But there's cases where he gets hit a lot. And you're like, man, for you to be so good and so special, why are you getting hit from some of these lower class fighters? So Xander might have seen that. So you know what? Yeah, I know Boots is special. I know he's really, really good, etc. But I see things in his game.
Breaking down his recent performance, Gabe Rosado praised Xander Zayas for showing clear growth, highlighting his sharp jab, smooth movement, and strong endurance throughout the fight. He also pointed to Zayas' natural size and strength as a major factor, noting that he carries that physical presence comfortably into the division.
I think in his last performance in Puerto Rico, he showed that boxing ability, nice jab, nice movement, good stamina, endurance, and he's a big dude, man. I went for a jog with him in Puerto Rico. I'm like, how big are you, dude? He walks like 190, man. He's a solid big guy. So he's bringing that weight and that size as well into that fight.
Weighing in, Timothy Bradley highlighted how sharp and well-prepared Xander Zayas looks heading into this matchup, pointing to the structure and strategy behind him. But he also fired a warning at Zayas, saying that hype alone won't protect him if those small gaps remain.
Shit, Xander Zayas got one of the best teams in boxing. Yep, and they come ready. So if he already talking about them weaknesses, he make a whole lot of mistakes, and he just cheesing like, ooh, yeah, that's what. Oh, everybody's high on Boots. Oh, they got a lot of clout around you, Boots. Oh, you got hype all around you. Man, you got all this hype around you. Yeah, shit, got me even hype. Cause I see how special you can be, but you need to tighten. I'm telling you, if you don't tighten your shit up, player. Oh, you gonna be looking on the other side. You gonna look like a fool too.
Turning up the criticism, Timothy Bradley told Jaron Ennis to go back to the basics, saying he was doing too much and leaving himself open in key moments. He pointed out that his footwork and positioning weren't always clean, which could put him in serious danger against a sharp opponent.
Back to the basics. Shit, you better hire a basic man if you don't know all that fancy shit. That shit don't impress me, all that fancy shit. That you be doing a whole lot of shit wrong, Boots. Crossing your legs and shit. I seen some pad work today you was doing, and you step to your right with your left foot first. That's wrong. That's wrong. I don't care if you're trying to use an angle. It's called back foot step shuffle, fool. You step with the back foot and you go towards the shoulder, the backside. If you want to change positions, yes. You bring that foot forward and then you slide around, not cross your left foot cross and then pivot around and think you're on another angle. You'll get like that.
Speaking on technique, Brian Yerman Sr. said Jaron Ennis holds a slight edge in physical strength, but made it clear the matchup with Xander Zayas is far from one-sided. He admitted the fight is difficult to call, emphasizing how competitive it looks on paper, and pointed out that Zayas' movement and footwork could be a major factor in making the fight exciting and unpredictable.
comes to strength, and I know people gonna say, you said Boots couldn't hit. No. He's still a grown man. One thing when it comes to strength, you got to get an edge to Boots. Of course, when it comes to, that's gonna be a good fight. I ain't gonna say much. That's gonna be a good fight. I don't know who I'm picking. I'm with what's the name on that? I'm with Bernie on that. I don't know who to pick on that. That's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a great fight, period.
What makes it great?
Because Xander's leg is gonna make it great. That's what's gonna make it great.
Norman Sr. said the fight between Zayas and Ennis looks evenly matched right now with no clear gap between them. He pointed out that while Boots has a strong win on his record, he still hasn't faced consistent top-level opposition, whereas Zayas is coming in with momentum and confidence. Norman added that this is exactly the kind of matchup that makes boxing exciting. Two rising forces meeting at the right time with everything to prove.
You look at the Fundora, you look at Xander and Boots as a 50-50 fight?
Absolutely. Got to be right now. There's nothing else that says different. Neither, at least Xander just won his titles. You got Boots that has not been tested by anybody. So, his biggest test was against Stanionis or whatever else, which was a great win. That was his best win, and it was a great win. So I'm definitely not taking away from that win. That was a great win. But Stanionis did only have 15 fights. And his fan had his fight before, was 6 fights.
From another perspective, trainer Greg Hackett gave major credit to Xander Zayas for stepping into a tough challenge against Jaron Ennis, pointing out the size difference and skill level involved. He explained that this wasn't an easy or necessary fight for Zayas, especially since other paths were available, which made the decision stand out even more. Hackett emphasized that choosing a dangerous opponent like Boots showed real confidence and ambition, adding that taking risks like this is what earns respect at the highest level.
Boots, this be his first joint where he got somebody that big. Xander is a big guy with skills. So it's gonna be interesting. I like the fight. I'm mad at Virgil Ortiz and his team, but I feel better because of Xander, what he did. So I got a world of respect for Xander right now. Utmost respect.
You mentioned respect, but in the same time, you would have to give that respect level really kind of towards Xander, right? Because at the end of the day,
that's
23 years. Oh, I thought you said Boots because he's fighting Xander.
No, I'm giving the respect to Xander because Xander didn't have to take the fight. Right. He didn't even have to entertain it because we was trying to get...
Looking ahead at the strategy, Hackett suggested Zayas could approach the fight with a more controlled defensive mindset against Ennis. He explained that if Zayas chooses to stay disciplined and box smart, the fight could go the distance, but if it turns into a back-and-forth battle, it could end dramatically. Hackett added that Zayas may rely heavily on his jab to manage the pace and control exchanges, using it as a key tool when the pressure starts to build.
I think if Xander come into the fight with a defensive mind state, then it do go the distance. But if he come to go to war, then yeah, somebody gotta go.
Do you feel like Xander is gonna come into this fight approaching it as more of a boxing match? Trying to kind of irritate Boots and see if he could be able to cut the ring or not. Seeing some of these fights with possibly both of those fights with Karen.
Yeah, I can see him coming in there trying to show his skills and basically really trying to stay behind the jab and focus behind the jab. A lot of times when things get difficult, the jab is always the shot to go to. So I could see him really trying to work behind his...
Breaking down the stylistic clash, Radio Raheem explained that Zayas represented the disciplined fundamentals first approach, relying on precision, structure, and a clear game plan, while Ennis brought a more creative, explosive style that could be unpredictable but also leave openings. Raheem described it as a classic boxing matchup. Technical efficiency versus flashy offense, where the outcome depends on whether structure can outwork creativity or if raw talent breaks through.
It's a fighter like Boots, and this is a matchup that is also very classic in boxing. Whether or not the creative, explosive, kind of showboaty, oft-times black American fighter who is not going to give you the standard looks can overcome a fighter who is very efficient, who is very disciplined, who is going to fight in the way that you are trained to fight, who is going to rely on fundamentals, who is going to try to outbox that flashy fighter who those punches probably has a heavier hand, but also can be hit and will be exposed because he's so creative with his offense. Sometimes that is at the
Looking at the bigger picture, Paulie Malianagi said Zaz may have more to lose in a fight of this magnitude with both risk and reward at their highest. But Chris Algieri disagreed, explaining that even in defeat, Zaz still has strong options ahead, including moving up in weight and continuing to grow, emphasizing that this is what boxing is about. Young fighters taking risks to prove themselves, and adding that these moments are often what shape a fighter's long-term legacy.
Xander has more to lose here, Not that Ennis doesn't have a lot to lose. It's, in a fight of this magnitude, there's a lot to lose for both guys, and there's a lot to gain for both guys. But I think Xander has more to lose, and but also more to gain.
I agree on everything you said, except for the fact that the point that Xander has more to lose, because he's already been a two-time champion at 54, unified WBA, WBO, and what was the other one? And the WBA. But if he loses, I think he just moves up to 160, and 160 is a wide open division, and I think he can do a lot of really good there. Listen, a loss is never a good thing. It's risky for both fighters, but guess what? This is boxing. We guys taking risks when they're young. Xander's 23 years old.
Comparing the two fighters, Sergio Mora praised Xander Zayas for his well-rounded and disciplined skill set, noting that he does most things at a high level with very few clear weaknesses. At the same time, he pointed out that Jaron Ennis shows more visible flaws defensively, including moments where he can be caught or leave openings. However, Mora emphasized that despite those issues, Ennis still holds the edge offensively with more creativity, power, and versatility, which ultimately makes him the more dangerous fighter.
Technique is sound. Speed is right. Power is damn good. Body shots,
I think the power
confidence.
is the biggest weakness, though, especially against a guy like Boots.
It's good. I didn't say great, but he does everything really good. Nothing great. That's what I'm saying about Xander's. I can't knock him. I can find things wrong with Boots more than I can Xander's. Boots gets hit. He pulls back his hand. He drops his lead hand. He looks vulnerable at times. Sometimes when he gets in there with a guy with good timing. So if I was to analyze both these guys and taking out the experience, I'm picking out more flaws in Boots than I am in Xander's. But if I'm actually picking a winner, I'm saying, oh, well, wait a minute. Even though Boots is defensively flawed, he's a better offensive fighter. I would say he's a better puncher.
Analyzing the situation, commentator Chris Manx suggested that Zaz might be reaching a point where moving up becomes necessary, much like Jaron Ennis. He explained that in moments like this, taking the biggest available fight makes the most sense, both competitively and financially. Manx pointed out that a matchup with Boots offers the strongest market appeal, bringing together different fan bases and creating a high-profile event that stands out above other options.
But Boots is coming up from what he's coming up, though. He's on 154. Like Boots, it's actually a good example. Boots knew it was done. It was over for him at 147. He needed to go up in weight. I think Xander Zayas is at that point. And if you know you're at that point, the best thing to do in this situation is to cash out with the biggest possible payday. And with respect to the other top fighters that are out there, the Josh Kellys, the Sebastian Fundoras, the biggest payday for Xander Zayas is Boots Ennis, because it's probably the most marketable fight that's out there. Puerto Rican fighter versus a black fighter from Philadelphia, doing it presumably in New York City, where you are going to draw a mix of those two different fans.
Highlighting his strengths, Tiger Johnson praised Xander Zayas for his discipline and ability to follow instructions, noting that he sticks to the game plan and listens closely to his corner. He also pointed to Zayas's conditioning and mindset, explaining that he stays strong throughout the fight and shows real determination, making him a reliable and tough competitor over every round. He added that this kind of consistency is what allows Zayas to stay composed even when the fight gets difficult.
He's real good at one thing I always liked about Xander. He's real good at sticking to the game plan. Like he listens very well in the corner. You know what I mean? To instructions that's given to him. He's always in dog shape, and
he's somebody that like he has a lot of will to win. You know what I mean? Like you can always like count on him to not fade away from the fight. Like he gonna always he don't, you know what I'm saying, he don't weekends that the rounds go on. You know what I mean?
Johnson said both Zayas and Ennis don't get the credit they deserve, describing them as two underrated fighters meeting at the right time. He explained that matchups like this are exactly what boxing needs, where both fighters have something to prove and a chance to gain recognition, adding that regardless of the result, this fight is likely to elevate both names and bring them the attention they've been missing.
I think Xander is like slept on. I think Boots is slept on too, though. I think people they don't give Boots a lot of credit that he should get. You know what I mean? So I feel like two young slept on fighters is getting in the ring with each other. That's what boxing needs. You know what I mean?
To get the shine they deserve.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like whatever the outcome is, man, I think both fighters gonna get their credit.
Tiger, just conversely, sparring Boots, what are kind of the things you got to get used to, or you know, things that he doesn't let you get used to? Kind of just to take us in the ring with him. Just what's it like being in the ring with Boots?
Well, I haven't sparred Boots, man, like 4 years. It was like 4 years ago, but I would say, you know, Boots is real athletic.
Giving his pick, boxer Angelo Leo leaned towards Xander Zayas, praising his mindset and willingness to take on challenges at a young age. He pointed out that Zayas isn't hesitating to face top competition, showing confidence and maturity in how he's approaching the division. While acknowledging Jaron Ennis's skill and talent, Leo said it was a close call, but ultimately sided with Zayas in what he expects to be a tough fight. He added that Zayas's hunger and fearlessness could give him the edge when the pressure builds.
I'm gonna go with, man, I like them both. I really like how Xander is handling all this. You know, he's down to fight whoever, whenever, and he's already 23 years old. He's already a unified champion, and I like that about him. You know, he's not afraid to, you know, get his feet wet in this division. So, but Boots, you know, Boots is a tremendous fighter, very skilled as well. I'm gonna go with it's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Xander with this one.
The clash between Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas is shaping up to be a must-watch fight. Both fighters bring skill, confidence, and something to prove, making this matchup too close to call. Boots is moving like the man to beat, while Zayas steps in fearless and ready for the challenge. There are strengths on both sides, and one mistake can change everything. This is where pressure, timing, and execution decide it all. Now, it comes down to who delivers on the night. Who do you think takes it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing content.